now. Cool. I have the chat up for ferlive.com. Okay. I'm not sure who is actually on it right now. But anyway, this is Sunday, the 7th of April, 2019. And hang on, I'm going to make sure yep, I'm on the air. Cool. All right. Sorry, I'm a little distracted right now because I'm trying to broadcast on YouTube at the same time, and I gotta get this thing out of the way somehow. And so I only have 2 screens. So okay, this will work right here. Okay. I only have 2 screens, and it's a little disconcerting. So I'm trying to manage everything. It's like kind of like a juggling act here. All right. So let's start off with a little bit of news, since that's the easiest thing to do. I'm going to skip that one right there for a moment. Okay. Sorry for this chair squeak, folks. I can't do anything about it. Let's see. U.S. soldier admits killing unarmed Afghans for sport. Jeremy Morlock, 23, tells U.S. military court he was part of a kill team. Yeah, that's just, that's just what it is, That was from 2011. I've seen his testimony. If it was the same one, yeah, he talked about how his commanding officer ordered him to kill a fat man on a bicycle as a civilian, and then pull his body behind a wall. Yeah, it's just, war is mass insanity. That's what it is. It's a very insane action. So anyway, moving on, something funny. Fox News Live. They have, those little crawlers they have underneath underneath the broadcast while they're broadcasting. It says, in one of them says, Trump cuts US aid to 3 Mexican countries. Yeah, Fox, they're not all that bright there, 3 Mexican countries. And what it is, I've got this meme up here. I didn't put the meme together, someone else did. But someone labeled Mexico, South Mexico, meaning Central America there. Communist Mexico is Cuba. It's all these things like soccer Mexico is Brazil, and Argentina is meat Mexico. Chile is black Mexico. Oh my. Yeah, they don't know the difference. It's all Mexicans south of the border. That's it. This just Mexicans and no one else. They don't know anything. They're they're just so American centric. Sorry, my throat. Hang on, my throat's not exactly the best shape right now. Female dragonflies take their own deaths to avoid males fake their own deaths to avoid males harassing them for sex. That's from Newsweek.com. Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. It's not, not tonight, dear, I have a headache or anything like that. And by the way, sex actually is good for headaches, by the way. So women, don't use that excuse. Okay. I have an essay here by an 8-year-old. It's another little meme, and it's on grandmothers. And I just saw it today. I posted it up here. By the way, I have it posted on my Lightning Post page on Facebook, and I want to talk more about that in a little bit here. Anyway, this essay says, A grandmother is a lady who has no children of her own, so she likes other people's little girls. A grandfather is a man grandmother. He goes walks with the boys and they talk about fishing, tractors, and like that. Grandmothers don't have to do anything except be there. They are old, so they shouldn't play hard or run. It is enough if they drive us to the shops where the pretend horse is and have lots of 5 cents ready. They are often fat, but not too fat to tie kids' shoes. They wear funny glasses and funny underwear, and they can take their teeth and gums off. Everyone should try to have one because grandmothers are the only grown-ups who have got time. I thought that was so cute. More good news. Unprecedented lawsuit could end water fluoridation in the U.S. The Florida Action Network, along with a coalition of environmental and public health groups, has filed a complaint in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California against the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in response to their denial of our petition under Section 21 of the Toxic Substances Control Act, seeking a ban on water fluoridation. Again, I'm not going to read the whole thing through, but I think that's just wonderful. San Diego, the peoples of San Diego actually voted against fluoride being added to the water, and San Diego said, we don't care, we're going to add it anyway, and they did. Yeah, so it's toxic. It says it's toxic right there on the canister. Google's best AI just flunked a high school math test. Yeah, it's because the AIs aren't really set up for. Oh, cool. Someone's listening. Mark, sorry, Rick Lowtech is listening in. All right, cool. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, yeah. The AIs aren't set up for these types of tests because they're, like when you put a math equation or math question or whatever in the form of an actual English question, question in English or whatever. Yeah, the AIs are terrible at that, and so am I actually. So I must be an AI. Logic. AIs are terrible at that, and so am I. So I must be an AI. Oh, by the way, AI is artificial intelligence. Just in case anyone is asking or want to know, whatever. Airbnb, crap, tripping over my tongue. Airbnb hosts are spying on guests with hidden cameras. Hang on a second. I've got to open this Skype up so I can see what's going on here. Yeah, Rick's saying augmented AI, artificially augmented AI. Yeah, I guess that's what I am. Yeah, anyway, there's a story. If you like doing Airbnb, you might want to check the story out. I don't have time to actually read the whole thing. It was a really interesting read though, but I just don't have time for it. Oh yeah, before I get to the next story, I wanted to say something. Yesterday, I checked again. I checked Google again by putting in Thunder Bear Courage. Right, I typed that into Google. Everything came up. Usually they censor me and I can't find anything. Okay, usually I have to go to DuckDuckGo to find it, but everything came up. So, or most everything anyway. My YouTube came up, the FERlive.com thing, my show came up, my Facebook page came up. Now, Lightning Post didn't come up, but that's fine. You can hopefully get to Lightning Post, I hope, anyway. That's what I'm reading off of. Basically, here's my Lightning Post page, okay? Because what I do is I take all the news stories that I post on my main page and the ones that I want to read for the show, I put on my Lightning Post page. So, and that means, of course, that I have a lot of news stories that I'm not reading for my show. So if you want a lot of news and a lot of other things, go over to my my main page. Okay, it's Thunder Bear Courage. So anyway, the mice became smarter. New treatment restores aging brains. I'm not going to read that one either, but yeah, they've got a new treatment restores aging brains. Brain cells can regrow. That's been shown plenty of times before. There's a new birth control for men, birth control drug for men. I've got a story up here. Excuse me. I have a story up here, a link to a story that is. So you can check that out, or just type it in to DuckDuckGo or Google, either one. Basic income made Finland citizens trust police more. Yeah, I've talked about basic income before. Now, this is a downside: is that people actually start trusting the police more. Unfortunately, that's a downside to it. The thing is, I even though I do like the universal guaranteed basic income, which is what they're talking about, I don't like fake governments. All right. So if it was a real government, meaning a corporation that we own, okay, and then we can prove we own it, we all have a share in it, then I would be more than happy. I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. It's been proven. I mean, absolutely proven beyond any reasonable doubt that it's good for society. And most people don't even, they don't even stay on it after a while, after like a year or two. Now, I just kind of skimmed that article, so I didn't actually read a lot of it. I'm not sure if they actually went into the other benefits of the basic income, but it's there if you want to look at it, and you can look it up you look up the subject for yourself and do research on it. A new design promises to quiet the terrifying roar of flushing an airplane toilet. I have not heard an airplane toilet in a long damn time. But yeah, I do remember them being really, really loud. So if you're interested in that, yeah, there's an article there. Scientists discover what triggers the spread of prostate cancer. That's something you might want to look into as well. Whoa, there's a whole bunch of there's chats or something popping up on my Skype. I don't know. Oh well. Anyway, DNA appears to show this Revolutionary War general was a woman or intersex. Yeah, that's right. I got something. Oh crap! I didn't load it up. I forgot to load it up. I think I forgot to load it up. I don't know. I might be able to find it. I wanted to play something for you about intersex, and but I don't know. Maybe next hour. Maybe next hour I'll play it for you. The Revolutionary War general is General Pulaski, and there's lots of towns with his name or her name or whatever. I was actually lived in Pulaski, Virginia at one time. I went to Pulaski Junior High or something. God, that's been so many years ago. I didn't live there that long, but yeah, that was yeah, it was just I thought it was kind of interesting because I guess because of the name and because it's just, well, it's kind of an interesting subject. I'm going to try to play that thing for you. I didn't have a key special folder for it, so I have to look for it. It's just slipped my mind. Sorry about that. I'll play for you next hour. New eye exam may detect Alzheimer's disease early. Okay. Common dietary supplements could harm your liver health. Now, those dietary supplements they're talking about are the like the stuff that weightlifters use. Okay. So if you're a weightlifter, you know, there's protein mixes and stuff like that. I think that's actually been known for a while that they're hard on your liver, but it's a brand new study. So you might want to check that out if you're into that. If you take those kind of supplements, new antioxidant could reverse blood vessels aging by 15 to 20 years. Okay. Oh, Rick was saying something about, I'm not sure what he's bringing in some listeners. Oh, is that what's going on in these chats? I'm not sure how to do these chats. Here, let me just. No. Oh, okay. I don't know how to really do this. Sorry, Rick. The Skype thing. Yeah. I guess I don't know if maybe I don't know if I'm messing it up or what. But anyway. Let's see. Yeah, antioxidant. Yeah, reverse blood vessels aging by 15 to 20 years. It was a really good control study. What they did was they had a control group, and then they switched. They were giving them a placebo, and then they switched from the control group to the other group, and vice versa, whatever. So they know for certain the arteries actually had more flexibility to them, and that's a really good sign. You know, we're getting pretty good with medicine now. It's actually, there's a lot of good medical advances. You know, I need to do another medical show, actually. Talk about medical advances. Vitamin B12 may play a role in fighting Parkinson's. Yeah, that's a kind of a no duh. Really. B12 serves as a precursor to development of neurotransmitters in the brain. Okay. Among other things. So yeah, that's kind of obvious, actually, if you know anything about Parkinson's disease. Nurses pay bond for dad arrested after speeding to get daughter to the hospital. Yeah, he was speeding along and the daughter was choking to death. And he wanted to get her to a hospital quickly. And of course, the cops came along and said, "You were doing over 100." You know, when he finally stopped and at the hospital, and it's like they can't figure it out. It's like, you know, it's just, God, you know, cops are just, they're mindless thugs with guns. Okay, that's all they are. They're just mindless thugs with guns. Deep fake malware can trick radiologists into believing you have cancer, or even the opposite. In other words, they can hack into the system, into the system, and actually make it look like you've got cancer, or actually cover up a tumor that's found, you know, as in on their scans. This looks like MRI machine, magnetic resonance imaging machine here that's in the picture. So I'm assuming it's MRI. I did say MRI, right? Magnetic resonance imaging, whatever. Razer laptops shipped with massive firmware vulnerabilities. Okay, so if you have a Razer laptop, the Razer laptops are gaming laptops. They're specialized gaming laptops. You might want to look into that. Sex robot takeaway service lets pervs rent used dolls for 180 pounds a night, and they get delivered right to your door. Yeah. It's just house call for brothel type house call or something, out call or whatever. But robots, yeah. I've been watching a lot of movies on YouTube lately, the really short ones by Dust. If you like science fiction, look up Dust on YouTube. Okay, DUST. There are a lot of really, really interesting, usually they're the really short films, sometimes like 5 minutes, sometimes 10, 20 minutes, whatever. And yeah, they show you potential technology, basically. Technology that's coming probably, and some of it's really scary. Um, okay, huh. Someone just left the chat session chat session. Oh, okay, cool. Rick has joined the chat session. 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 Oh my. Yeah, it's that chat part that's tossing me, throwing me off. Chat session, yeah. Chat session. Oh my. Scientists reveal a multi-dimensional universe inside the brain, up to 11 dimensions, which is awesome. And it's apparently came out April the 1st. So I don't know about that. I haven't actually read the article. I saw like the first line of it or something, and I just went ahead and posted it. I just noticed the date April the 1st. I don't know if it's an April Fool's thing or not. Rick says, brain and brain. What is brain? Brain and brain. What is brain? Yeah, Pinky and the Brain. I love that cartoon. I absolutely love that cartoon. I miss it so much. Spock's brain. Yeah, actually, when I was in high school, yeah, Rick asked me if I have Spock's brain, like a Vulcan's brain, basically. When I was in high school, I actually thought about trying to eliminate all emotions and just go strictly with logic and reason and stuff. I don't know. It's just I am in some ways kind of Vulcan like, but I retain my emotions to this day and my sense of humor as well. Um yeah, it's a interesting concept. I'm not sure exactly how they would determine that as multidimensional, since it's just the brain is occupying a three-dimensional space. But yeah, I would like to sit down and read that article one day. um yeah, it does look interesting. It really does look interesting. I from my spiritual like teachings and stuff, um I I think the brain is a physical manifestation of the mind. It's a physical interface between physical reality and the spiritual world, basically, in you. So Rick says, question: would you volunteer for a human transmutation prototype program? No. There you go. A simple answer. No. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, because there's all kinds of transmutation and stuff. The word transmutation is call 1-800 cut me please. Really. Transmutation is a kind of odd word to use there. Maybe he's referring actually to cybernetics. Okay, that's what I'm thinking he's actually referring to. I'd have to look into it. Yeah, computer and electronics built in your body. That's cybernetics. That's not really transmutation. Transmutation is more like a chemical thing. There's a transmutation process in chemistry and in alchemy, actually, and in physics as well. But yeah, it's the transmutation is actually a really bad word to use there. But no cybernetics. No, the Borg is asking if the Borg are the result of transmutation. No, not transmutation. They are the result of cybernetic alteration, or additional cybernetic components being placed into the body. However, there could there is evidence in canon in the movies that they use nanotech as well. So they could be a reprogramming of the genetic structure in addition to the additional electronics and stuff. Okay. So yeah, the Borg are really interesting. I'm going to have to talk about the Borg one day. Talk about science fiction and stuff. In fact, I've got in my notes. I was going to talk about one of the movies that I saw fairly recently. Okay, Rick says, medically speaking, Borg implants are harmful to the skin. Perhaps I could prescribe some cream. Actually, there are coatings that you can use on implants like that are not actually harmful to the skin. There's actually no, well, actually, yeah, okay, technically you can say harmful to the skin, but everything heals up fine. You're talking about rejection, body rejection. There are, geez, there was something new. Was it actually? It may be. It's non-reactive substances with the body. That's basically what you're talking about. There's something in my mind. Vague recollection of just recently coming across something that's non-reactive with the body. Anyway, Rick says that's what the doctor in the Holoed said. Holoed, huh? Must be a video in the third movie, I think. Oh, okay. Let's see. What I was thinking, emergency department. Yeah. I'm not sure what you're referring to. The emergency medical hologram program that was used on Voyager wasn't used on Next Generation in any of the Next Generation movies that I can think of. So maybe that's what you're referring to. Maybe you're referring to Voyager, but I was actually thinking about, let's see, Star Trek First Contact movie where the Borg went back through time to Earth and the Enterprise had to follow them. Man, time is passing so fast. Hang on, let me do this other story here. Brussels becomes first major city to halt 5G due to health effects. Okay, Brussels becomes first major city to halt 5G due to health effects. It's good for them. Let's see. I'm gonna skip that. Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play. Oops. Excuse me. I could play the promo for you right quick, and I will be back after that.
You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live, and this is the Flat Earth Man, and all you're watching is a puppet show. All y'all watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. The whole world's a stage, man. You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live.
Flat Earth New Zealand Trust Group is proud to present the Flat Earth New Zealand Expo 2019, April 27th through the 28th. Awakening to reality and purpose is the solemn duty and joy of each significant soul. Join us at our Flat Earth New Zealand Expo to see mysteries unraveled and learn a truthful perspective about our world that you may have never considered before. Unearthed in a creative and condensed way. Flat Earth Expo Aotearoa, New Zealand. Hosted in Auckland. Jam-packed 2-day, 3-part event to showcase the flat Earth and other related topics, such as the Antarctic Circle and lands beyond, NASA, scientism, religion exposed, the Matrix control, vaccinations and chemtrails, political globalism and the New World Order, fake news and false education, astronomy untouched, weather modification, historical hoaxes, financial systems, what are UFOs and aliens, biblical cosmology, and much more. Broaden your horizon. On Saturday, join an open educational public seminar with 4 international lecturers. You will enjoy a quality crash course in flat Earth knowledge, each presenting undeniable evidence covering several categories of research as well as touching on other connected fields of study. This quick Q&A session includes an attendant pack and afternoon tea. It truly is a marvel to behold while awakening the common senses. The 2019 Flat Earth New Zealand Expo promises to be a feast of flat Earth exhibits, products, souvenirs and artwork displayed throughout both days. So don't miss it. Our contact information. You can call us at 021-0289-3402 or email us at admin@fenzexpo.co.nz or write to us at PO Box 51010, Pakuranga, Auckland, New Zealand 2010. Flat Earth is common sense and is found in the history of every race. For ticket information or to ask questions, log on to fenzexpo.com.
Hey, John, you don't look so good. What's the matter?
Oh, I always feel tired and run down. You know, no energy. I think it's my poor diet or something.
Well, you know, John, I used to feel the same way. Couldn't sleep at night, couldn't stay awake in the daytime. That's when my doc told me that I had leaky gut syndrome.
Oh, wow. What'd you do? Surgery?
No way. I tried Tarsal. Tarsal is made with the finest, purest cream of tartar and MSM sulfur. And that's all. The fact that it contains all natural ingredients makes it especially desirable in today's toxic world. Tarsal is a white powder that you take every day with water or juice. Taken regularly, Tarsal can clear your leaky gut right up.
Tarsal, huh? So what else does Tarsal do?
Tarsal can help with acne, psoriasis, constipation, gallstones, heartburn, hemorrhoids, hypertension, IBS, and UTI.
Wow, that's quite a formula.
Yes, it is. And Tarsal also helps you to relax, repels insects, and can help you stop smoking.
So how do I find Tarsal?
That's easy. Just go to tarsal.com or call 619-363-1264. Try a bottle today and begin feeling normal again.
TARSUL.com. Try Tarsal today.
You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live, and this is the Flat Earth Man, and all you're watching is a puppet show.
Okay, back. Whoa. I'm back. Sorry. It went back into that. Yeah, okay. I was looking at the chat. Rick was saying that there's a correction. For the FEN FENZ Expo. It's the correct address is FENZEXPO.NZ.co, not .com. Okay, it's not .com. Okay. So he says the lady who does our announcements hasn't had time for Borg implants to heal yet. She was in error. Wait a second, Rick. What do you mean Flat Earth Man's Borg implants have healed well? I didn't know you had Borg implants. Oh my. Really, shouldn't rag on him. He's busy. You know, he's got he does all his productions himself and stuff, so that takes a lot of time. You know, for those of you wondering about, you know, why he hasn't released any more music lately, it's because he has to do all the productions and all the what do you call it? Or you go out and say, hey, buy my album stuff, promotions, that's it, and stuff like that. And he's, you know, I mean, it takes a lot, you know, making calls and stuff. Trust me, I know. I started out promoting the station when the station was just first starting getting up and running, and yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Rick says he's a personal friend, loves him. Cool. And Yeah. And he begged him for the promo. Yeah. That's a good promo, really. He really is talented. He has a lot of talent. Okay. So there's some things I want to talk about tonight. Obviously, my little notebook here, and I'm going to try to find that other thing while I'm talking. Okay. So the Berlin Wall. There's a reason why I want to talk about the Berlin Wall. Oh, hang on, let me see. The young kids probably don't remember how the Berlin Wall fell. Okay. All you youngsters out there. Oh, cool. I found that. All right. I can play that a little later. All you youngsters out there, the Berlin Wall fell because you can say, well, it was a communication error, because what had happened was the East German government had made some kind of announcement or whatever that they were going to start letting people go, to what travel to West Germany. Okay. Yeah. Rick said it fell because of the Pink Floyd concert, didn't it? I saw the concert at the Wall now. No, what it was like I said, miscommunication. The East German government told people that, yeah, okay, you're going to be able to just travel to West Germany now, but it was actually for just a select few or something. And so many people had gathered at the Wall, and when they heard the correction, they were angry, and there was lots and lots of people. I mean, just a massive crowd. And they said, well, we're not taking this. Look at all the people's here, and they started bashing down the wall. They started grabbing, hammers, and someone went and got some construction equipment, large things like bulldozers and stuff, and a wrecking ball. And the guards couldn't do anything. They were in total disarray, and the East German government fled. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is to show you, in history, it has been done before. If you really, really want to do something, you can. Okay. Yeah. Rick says the guards, they decided not to shoot. Oh, absolutely decided not to shoot. Think about it. They were outnumbered. It's like, well, how many bullets you got in that gun? I know that they did have 50 caliber machine guns mounted up on the wall, and the wall actually was two walls. It was a double wall. It was a kill zone in between the two walls. Now, I'm just doing all this from the top of my head from memory. So, just to let you know, because I forgot to look it up again to remind me, to refresh my memory. I'm just offhand, I'm thinking that was in either 89 or 9. I'm thinking 89 is when that happened. Yeah, Rick says, but those were their people. Yeah, but they don't see it that way. The thing is, yeah, Rick says, we often wonder if our own Marines would fire on us. NASA lies about everything. Says, don't stand in between man and his will. Absolutely. You're right. Absolutely about that. Yeah, it just depends. One thing you got to know is a lot of the Marines and the Army are kind of drugged up. It's been a really big problem. And they're drugged up just to, they say it's just to keep them going, keep them fighting and everything, but really it's just to keep them in line, and they might not know what they're doing. I know there's a code of conduct. I was in the Air Force, so I know. I vaguely recall. It's been a long, long time ago. Back in ancient days, I was in the Air Force, and I distinctly remember being briefed on this code of conduct. Yeah. Rick says, die on your feet or live on your knees. Yeah. The code of conduct basically it says a lot of things, but one of the things it says is that any order that you consider illegitimate, you can defy. In other words, if someone says, "Oh, your commanding officer," that is, it says something like, "Well, go kill that fat man on that bicycle." Well, that fat man on the bicycle is a non-combatant, so yeah, you can disobey that order. But if you're on drugs, who knows? I mean, you can be in like a dream state. That's one of the reasons why we have this thing called insanity, is because so many peoples are actually in a dream state. And it's kind of a fugue state, as it were. Yeah, Rick says you are compelled to disobey illegal orders. Yeah, exactly. That's in the code of conduct. Yeah. I forget exactly what that's called. It's been ages and ages and ages. But yeah, you really are compelled. Oh yeah, UCMJ. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, Universal Code of Military Justice, I believe. What isn't that right? What it is? Yeah. No, Uniform Military Code of Justice. You're right. I don't know why I said universal. Did I say universal? Oh God. Uniform code. Yeah, Uniform Military Code of Justice. That's right. God, it's been 1980 something. Let's see, 1987. God, it's just weird. It's like it's hard remembering, but I think that's when I went into, or was it 86? I went in. I can't remember. Long time ago. But yeah, so there's that. Yeah, what I was talking about was about these cops. So I have in here my notes, cops at night, because the other night, or a couple of nights ago or something, I was walking home and I was on a sidewalk. All right. And it was late. It was really late at night. And this cop car, passes me by, slows down, puts on his brakes, and hang on a second, Rick. I'll read that in a second. And flicks on his light, his searchlight, for a moment. And he's looking at me, I guess, to see if I'm going to run. Of course, what did I do? I pulled out my smartphone. I'm not going to run. And of course, he just went on. But that's a form of terrorism. It is. It really is truly a form of terrorism. Just you're a harassment. Actually, it's a form of harassment. Anyway, Rick says if an officer tells you to fire on a non-combatant, someone that is not armed, you don't do it until they become a combatant or pick up a weapon. Yeah. Like I said, it's been a hell of a long time since I was briefed on that. Yeah, I think Rick was in. Let's see. Did you say you were in the Army or something? I can't remember. But yeah. So Navy. Oh, Navy. Sorry. Yeah, my dad was in the Navy. I almost joined the Navy. Yeah. Oh, get the squad car number and file a claim. Yeah, I couldn't. It was too far away. He really was. He was way too far away. I know it was an older squad car. I know that. But yeah, don't worry about it right now. I mean, I've got more than enough claims already. Yeah, good advice. Those use a cell cam. Exactly. It's like the eyes of the judge. Yeah. Kinda not. The judge only sees what's in writing in front of him, unless it's a court of record. If it's a court of record, then you can make oral arguments, or there is a little trick. if you can somehow manage to place your hand on the bench without getting shot, okay, or without getting tackled, that's no joke right there, without getting tackled or something, you can actually talk to the judge. And the judge actually has to hear. The judge has to listen at that point. But good luck getting your hand on that bench. You know? Seriously, I was in court one time, and it was a long time ago when I didn't know hardly anything of what I know now. I stood up to convene a court of public record, but I was in the wrong part of the courtroom to do that, which I didn't really know. And I got tackled hard. And I said to him, yeah, I hereby convene a court of public record. And that bailiff comes in and grabs me and knocks me down to the table and says, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up." He did not want me to speak because they know they can get in serious trouble. The only problem was I was in the wrong part of the courtroom. Anyway, Rick says, "Yeah, I know when I had my crash, I had dash cam. The guy I hit had a dash cam. The judge instructed the jury to ignore my dash cam evidence. So they did. I lost my license." Yeah. And that's a whole nother thing. That's jury tampering. It would be anyway if the jury was a real jury, but it's not a real jury. It's all stage play. That's the thing. It's all stage play. You know, you can actually just simply say something in court like, is there any man or woman here who claims that these charges are true, valid, and lawful? And just listen to the silence. Oh, wait a second. Rick says we were jousting on the freeway and we hit. Really? Oh, I miss that game, Joust. You ever played that? You're on the back of oh god, what was it? An ostrich. Back of an ostrich. Anyway, oh, that's what the cop said, jousting. We had did he ask you where your lances were? That's funny. Jousting. Yeah. But anyway, gotta move on here. Let's see. Oh wait, doing a pair. Rick says we were doing it with a pair of 80,000-pound trucks. Oof, man, it's a hell of a lot of weight. 80,000 pounds. So anyway, moving on. I want to talk about marriage laws for a moment. Okay. This shows you how government thinks. You remember, well, I say you remember, maybe not old enough to remember. There was a time, oh, yeah, Rick says the judge was not amused. Yeah. There was a time when it was illegal for a black man and a white woman to marry, or a white man and a black woman to marry, or whatever, interracial marriage was illegal. Okay. That should have told you everything you need to know about government. That one thing. Think about it. If you're, say, a white man like myself, and you want to marry a black woman, okay, like Lila Chloe Moon, who's already married right now to Aquaman, by the way. Really, the guy who plays Aquaman? Yeah, he's married to Lila Chloe Moon, who's also used to be known as Lisa Bonet, whatever. But anyway, oh, hang on a second. Rick says, one day you should do a show about my trial. It cost me $8,500 in lawyer's fees. Oh, man. Fines and cost. And I lost my license for a whole year, and the guy was doing the same thing I was. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I probably will start maybe, discussing whole trials and stuff. I gotta find some really good trials instead of everything to discuss and just kind of go through them. But I don't know. I just don't know what to do. All right, exactly. But anyway, Oh God, I just lost my train of thought. Marriage laws. Oh yeah, marriage laws. Yeah. If a government um, can tell you who you can and cannot marry as a living being, then doesn't that make the government your master? And what about marriage licenses? Same thing, isn't it? You know, I think it was like one of the worst things ever for the LGBTQ XYZ community, whatever, when they had so-called gay marriages legalized. It was the worst thing that could have happened to them. It's like one of the worst things that could have happened to the blacks when they gained civil rights. They had no idea what they were gaining wasn't actually worth gaining. They would have probably been better off without them. If someone offers me civil rights, I would think they were trying to attack me or something. You know, it's like, how dare you offer me civil rights? I don't want any of your damn civil rights. It's slavery, is what it is. You know, that's all it is. It's just slavery. So, yeah, government interfering with your private life like that is something that should tell you, well, everything you need to know about them. Okay. It's just they're wanting to be your master. They're saying that you can't make decisions for your life. Okay. And that is just, that's insane. They are insane. They are criminally insane. But what else is insane is people's just simply accepting it. Now, I know there was a lot of racism back then, and maybe that's one of the reasons why it was kind of accepted. You know, a lot of whites were racist against blacks and vice versa, whatever, you know, kind of a, well, sort of race war going on. But it's, you know, it's a way of separating everyone. The blacks are not your enemy. The whites are not your enemy. You know, it's the governments, which are all under the empire, the one government, which is actually under the Rothschilds. You know, when you see the Pope kissing the ring of the Rothschild, one of the Rothschild family, okay, members, and you know, just like the mafia, you know, isn't that what they do in the mafia? Yeah. I wonder if my stream time went off the air or something. I don't know. Wait, this is wrong. I got a stream time of 36 minutes and 24 seconds now. And that can't not be because it's 17:53 right now, or 5:53, whatever, PM. Something went wrong with my, I hope, well, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play this for you. Hang on, let me put my earbuds in to make sure it's going to play and everything. Okay, I hope this is going to work. This should work.
I have a vagina. Just thought you should know. That might not come as a surprise to some of you. I look like a woman, I'm dressed like one, I guess. The thing is, I also have balls. And it does take a lot of nerve to come up here and talk to you about my genitalia. Just a little. But I'm not talking about bravery or courage. I mean, literally. I have balls. Right here. Right where a lot of you have ovaries. I'm not male or female. I'm intersex. Most people assume that you're biologically either a man or a woman, but it's actually a lot more complex than that. There's so many ways somebody could be intersex. And in my case, it means I was born with XY chromosomes, which you probably know as male chromosomes. And I was born with a vagina and balls inside my body. I don't respond to testosterone. So during puberty, I grew breasts, but I never got acne or body hair, body oil. You can be jealous of that. But even though I don't actually have a uterus, I was born without one. So I don't menstruate. I can't have biological children. We put people in boxes based on their genitalia. Before a baby's even born, we ask whether it's a boy or a girl, as if it actually matters. As if you're going to be less excited about having a baby if it doesn't have the genitals you wanted. As if what's between somebody's legs tells you anything about that person. Are they kind, generous, funny, smart? Who do they want to be when they grow up? Genitals don't actually tell you anything, yet we define ourselves by them. In this society, we love putting people into boxes and labeling each other. It gives us a sense of belonging and teaches us kind of how to interact with one another. But there's one really big problem, and biological sex is not black or white. It's on a spectrum. Besides your genitalia, you also have your chromosomes, your gonads, like ovaries or testicles. You have your internal sex organs, your hormone production, your hormone response, and your secondary sex characteristics, like breast development, body hair, etc. Those 7 areas of biological sex all have so much variation, yet we only get 2 options, male or female, which is kind of absurd to me because I can't think of a single other human trait that there's only 2 options for. Skin color, hair, height, eyes. You can either have nose A or nose B. That's it, no other options. If there are infinite ways for our bodies to look, our minds to think, personalities to act, wouldn't it make sense that there's that much variety in biological sex too? Did you know that besides XX or XY chromosomes, you could have XX and XY chromosomes? Or you could have an extra X, XXY, or 2 extra XXXY. Goes on from there. And for those normal people with XX or XY, what does that mean? I have XY chromosomes. If my DNA is found at the scene of a crime, not saying it will, but we'll see. If my skeleton is discovered thousands of years from now, I'll be labeled male. Is that the truth? My balls would say so. But what about the rest of me? And what if a woman has ovarian cancer and has to have her ovaries removed? Does she still qualify as a woman? Or what about other intersex people who are born without balls or ovaries, or with just one, or a combination of the 2? Where do they go? Do you have to have a uterus to be a woman? So a lot of us are born without one. And everyone's favorite part, genitalia. You either have one or the other, right? You either have a 6-inch long penis that's exactly this thick, jutting straight out of the body at a 90-degree angle, or you have a vagina that's this wide internally and a clitoris that's half an inch above the vaginal opening, and labia that look exactly like they're supposed to look like, according to that one porn video you watched that one time. You know the one. If you've been with more than one sexual partner in your lifetime and you line them up one by one, I guarantee you could identify them just by their genitalia. Think about it. Go on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see you. No judging. Just notice. All different, right? The sex and gender binary are both so ingrained in our society that we never stop to think about it. We just automatically place each other into one box or the other as if it actually matters until somebody comes along to make you question it. And if you're thinking that I'm the exception, an anomaly, an outlier, intersex people represent around 2% of the population. That's the same percentage as genetic redheads. It's about 150 million people roughly, which is more than the entire population of Russia. So there's a lot of us. needless to say. We're not new, we're rare, we're just invisible. We've existed throughout every culture in history, yet we never talk about it. In fact, a lot of people might not know that they're intersex. Have you had a karyotype test to determine your chromosomes? What about a full blood panel for all of your hormone levels? A friend of mine found out last year in his 50s. The executive director of Interact, which is the leading organization for intersex human rights here in the US, she found out she was intersex at age 41. Her doctors found out when she was 15, but they didn't tell her. They lied and said that she had cancer because that seemed like an easier option than finding out she wasn't fully a woman. This kind of thing happens a lot, where intersex people are lied to or kept in the dark about our bodies, which comes as a surprise to a lot of people, but we live in a society that doesn't talk about sex or bodies at all, unless it's to mock or shame each other. I found out I was intersex at age 10, and for the most part, I was fine with that information. It didn't really faze me. I was still developing my understanding of the world. And it wasn't until I got older and realized that I didn't fit society's expectations of me, that I didn't belong, that I was abnormal. And that's when the shame started. How many times have you seen kids play with the wrong toys for their gender? Or try on the wrong clothes? All the time, right? Kids don't have these ideas about gender norm. They don't have shame about who they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to like or love. They don't care about any of this stuff. They don't have shame until we put it on them. I also had doctors lie to me. At age 10, they told me that I would also get cancer unless I removed my balls. Then they proceeded to tell me that every year until today, there's still doctors who want me to remove them. But there's literally no reason. If a typical XY male, like yourself, has testicles and one is undescended, there's a high chance of it becoming cancerous, or a higher chance of it becoming cancerous. They need to be thermoregulated, so they drop down away from the body to cool off, or they shrink back up to get warm. Mine don't need to do that. They're not responding to testosterone. They're not producing sperm. They're fine right here inside my body. Yet, because there's such a lack of information about intersex people, my doctors never understood the difference. They never really understood my body. As I got older, I had another doctor tell me that I needed to have surgery on my vagina. She said that until I had an operation, until she operated, I would not be able to have normal sex with my husband one day, her words. I didn't end up going through with the operation, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. I'm not here to talk about my sex life, but let's just say it's fine. I'm fine. My body's fine. You actually wouldn't be able to tell the difference between me and another person unless I told you. You wouldn't be able to tell that I was intersex unless I told you. But again, because of the lack of understanding about bodies, my doctor didn't understand the difference. And for the most part, my sex life is fine. The only issue that really comes up is that sometimes sexual situations bring up memories of doctors touching me over and over again since I was 10. I've been really lucky to escape. I didn't think I would get emotional. I've been really lucky to escape the physical harm that comes from these unnecessary surgeries. But no intersex person is free from the emotional harm that comes from living in a society that tries to cover up your existence. Most of my intersex friends have had operations like these. Oftentimes they will remove testes like mine, even though my risk of testicular cancer is lower than the risk of breast cancer in a typical woman with no predisposition, no family history. But we don't tell her to remove her breasts, do we? It's rare to meet an intersex person that hasn't been operated on. And Oftentimes, these surgeries are done to improve intersex kids' lives, but they usually end up doing the opposite, causing more harm and complications, both physical and emotional. I'm not saying that doctors are bad or evil. It's just that we live in a society that causes some doctors to fix those of us who don't fit their definition of normal. We're not problems that need to be fixed. We just live in a society that needs to be enlightened. One of the ways I'm doing that is by creating a genderless puberty guidebook that can teach kids about their bodies as they grow up, not their girl bodies or their boy bodies, just their bodies. We often place unrealistic expectations on the things that our bodies do that are outside of our control. I mean, if one man can grow a full, luxurious hipster beard and the other can only grow a few mustache hairs, what does that mean about who they are as men? Nothing. It literally, most likely, just means that their hair follicles respond to testosterone in different ways. Yet, how many times have you heard a man ashamed about something like this? Imagine a world where we could live in a society that teaches us not to have shame about the things that our bodies do or do not do. I want to change the way that we think about biological sex in this society, which is a lot to ask for. I'd say it's ballsy, I guess. But eventually we accepted the world is round, right? We no longer diagnose gay people with mental disorders or women with hysteria. We don't think epilepsy is caused by the devil anymore, so that's cool. We constantly change and evolve the more we understand as a society. And biological sex is on a spectrum. It's not black or white. Not only could that knowledge save intersex kids from physical and emotional harm, I think it would help everyone else too. Who here has ever felt inadequate or ashamed because you weren't girly enough? You were too girly. You weren't manly enough or too manly. We constantly shame people for not fitting into a box, but the reality is I think we shame others because it prevents them from seeing that we don't fit inside our boxes either. And the truth is that nobody actually fits in a box because they don't exist. This binary, this false male-female facade is something we constructed. We built ourselves, but it doesn't have to exist. We can break it down, and that's what I want to do. Will you join me?
Okay, back. So, yeah, there we go. Just pulled my earbuds out. Okay, yeah, there was a lot of stuff in there. A lot of stuff to talk about. You know, I guess you noticed that she said, we accepted the earth was round. Yeah, so we have a lot of work to do, you know, to make sure everyone knows that the earth, well, technically probably is round, true, but not a sphere, not a planet. That's something else I wanted to talk about tonight too, but hang on, let me finish talking about this little video. That was a TED Talk, actually. Yeah, Rick says she's making me blush. Yeah. NASA lies about everything, says, can I say no? I don't want to join her. Yes, of course. You know, the thing is, we all feel differently about different subjects, you know. I feel everyone has a right to say whatever they want to say as long as they're not committing libel or slander, you know. Well, slander is spoken, libel is writing. Rick, come on. Yeah, actually she's kind of pretty, really. Just to let you know, she is kind of, I mean, not like really, you know, curly beautiful or anything, but she is kind of pretty. Yeah, you wouldn't even know that she that she's intersex. You know, this thing, when she says you wouldn't know it unless I told you, yeah, she's absolutely right. So yeah. She's right about boxes. You know, there are all these little boxes. Take marriage, for example. Okay, there are those that feel marriage should just be monogamous. You know, not plural marriages at all. You know, total monogamy, and that may actually work for them. It's sort of worked for my mom. She got divorced from my dad for a long time ago, but then she married my stepdad, and they've been married since I've been a little boy. And their marriage is still going strong as far as I know. So monogamy works for them. I guess you could say it's serial monogamy for my mom, you know, because she was monogamous as far as I know with my dad when they were married. My mom and my dad got divorced when I was really, really, really little. You know, I was just a tiny little kid. And but yeah, she did get married. And in fact, I remember telling my stepdad, my soon to be stepdad, that I hated him. It's like I said, I hate you. You're not my dad. I said those exact words. As I said, I was really little. You know, I didn't comprehend things as an adult would comprehend them. But yeah, monogamy works for them. But for others, it doesn't work. And of course, there's a whole concept of what does working mean when you're talking about marriage? Does working mean that you're married for 5 years? Or or 20 years or whatever, you know. Anyway, Rick says, said that to my stepdad. He died 3 months later. Never say that to anyone. Yeah. Yeah. I feel for you. You know, I really do. I can definitely empathize with that. I regret saying what I said, but at the time I was just so little, you know. When you're really little, you just say things, you know. You say things, you do things. You're still basically in kind of a dream state, actually. Okay, cool. Yeah. So anyway, let me let's see. Well, yeah, let me skip that then. I'll just leave it as it is. Okay, that was a TED Talk. Crap, I forgot who talked, but it doesn't matter, I guess. If you're curious enough, you can go look at the TED Talks. Some of those TED Talks, by the way, they are, God, it's hard to describe. Some of them just aren't right, just to let you know. Okay. But some of them are, you know, some of the ones doing the speaking they are going on bad data or whatever. It's like the woman that talked about the Wonder Woman pose, saying, well, you'll have more confidence if you just pose like this. And yeah, her studies weren't legitimate studies, or they weren't really scientific, you know, not proper controls and everything. So yeah, that happens sometimes. But just keep in mind that they just want guests on to talk, you know, and sometimes they just aren't too picky. But yeah, sometimes it's some really good stuff. You know, you just never know. So anyway, I was watching this movie called Telepathy, and it's one of the Dust movies on YouTube. And it's a great thing is free movies, you know. It's great. And like I said, a lot of science fiction and stuff. But this movie was really interesting and really makes you think. The premise was that more and more peoples were starting to be born with telepathy. Okay. And they got to a certain point where they actually outnumbered the ones that were not telepaths. And so they started forming a different society. And they actually took this little girl away from her mother because her mother was not telepathic, but the little girl was. And they said things like, well, you can't raise her because she's like us, and she'll never know real love with someone who's not a telepath. And the one of the reasons why I'm bringing it up is because, you know, they had formed the ones that were telepathic, they'd formed a government. And that's kind of what government just does. But you can say, well, maybe they had good intentions and everything, but you should never take, you know, a little child away from the parent like that, you know, no matter what your intentions are, right? Unless the parent's abusing them, but maybe they saw that as abuse. Maybe they said, well, the mother's not telepathic, so therefore that's abuse. So in other words, the definition of abuse changed. That's the thing about government, is they change definitions. They define things differently sometimes. Like the word force, for example. If you look up the National Defense Authorization Act for 2011, and I'm pulling this off the top of my head here. Okay, so it's there's off the official government website. Okay, they have a place where they define the words that they use, and you can look up force. It says you cannot use force against the government. If you use force against the government, you're labeled a terrorist. But their definition for force included speaking out. You know, so yeah, they get to define their words. Legalese. You know, and you know, they just government in general, even if they have really good intentions, sometimes everything can go really bad. And unless they have a good moral set of rules or something that they should never violate, you know. It's like the government that I was trying to kind of, you know, set up in a way with that constitution and the laws and stuff. I had built-in safeguards. I said no one can violate these laws. I don't care if you're in government or not. Basically, the basic gist of it was, yeah, all the officers in the government, they have to obey the same laws as everyone else. In other words, no one is above the law. When you start saying, well, I am above the law because I am in government, that leads to tyranny. Okay. That leads to tyranny. It's as simple as that. And they do. You remember the James Bond movies where he had a license to kill, right? He had a license to do what we could not do. What grants that government a right to do what we cannot do? Think about, I just happened to think about Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay. Okay. In Cuba, but not in Cuba, technically. It has that weird legal thing. Yeah, Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, Guantanamo. I think it said Guantanamo. Guantanamo. You're right. Thanks. Gitmo. Yeah. Thanks, Rick. So yeah. What are they doing there? They torture, right? And of course, they have it off of the so-called United States land, but United States is really just Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands, and maybe like a couple other territories. That's the United States. It's actually a foreign power. It's not within any of the states, okay, or the nations, actually. Really. But anyway, yeah, they for legal reasons they have to locate it elsewhere so that they can engage in torture. But what gives them the right to do that? Those people's never had trials. And well, some of them did, but a good portion didn't. You know, again, I'm just going off the top of my head here. I haven't looked into it in a while. So I don't know about any updates. But yeah, it's just, you know, what can I say? Is they act out and they do things that we cannot do in this so-called, you know, civilized society. Nothing should give them the right to do that. Everyone should be under the law if it's a real law. All law has to be within reason. Okay? It all has to be within reason. If it is not within reason, it is not a law. Period. Okay. Let's see, before I get too far, I did want to talk a little bit about flat Earth. Just a little bit. I got to thinking, maybe there is no real model for the flat Earth. If under NASA NASA administration has joined the chat session. Interesting. Just when I started talking about flat Earth. Yeah. Well, NASA administration. Okay. But anyway, yeah, right quick. When I was thinking about, okay, now I don't know if you've heard me before. Wild name, dude. NASA administration says wild name, dude. Thanks. I don't know if you've heard me before when I talked about the Mandela effect, but briefly I'm going to go over it. The Mandela effect is where history changes. Now, some say, oh, it's just your bad memory, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm sorry. That doesn't work. When it comes to things like New Zealand actually moving, moving, but not moving. In other words, it was north of Australia. And I know for a fact it was north of Australia. I looked at a map. I was going to plan out a little route between Australia and New Zealand. And I said, oh, yeah, New Zealand's right here. Because I didn't know where it was. I looked at the map. And, okay, I saw, okay, well, you just go north from Australia. And it looks like roughly a day's journey, maybe less. And now New Zealand is southeast of Australia and larger too. And you can't chalk that up to like time travelers, And of course, there's another big one that a lot of people know about, the Panama Canal. It used to go from east to west. And I know for a fact it used to go to east to west. Again, because I looked at a map and I was thinking, well, if I had a boat, could I get from the Gulf of Mexico to the Pacific Ocean without going through the Panama Canal? So I looked at the Panama Canal and I looked around it, and I got on Google Maps and stuff and looked there all around it. And there was this river that is sometimes not there because it dries up. And it was roughly parallel with the Panama Canal. I said, well, in the rainy season, a small boat should be able to make the journey. And I noticed, I took note that it was running roughly parallel with the canal, and the canal was running from east to west, or west-east, depending on how you want to look at it. Now it's running north to south, because Central America, hang on a second, Central America is now longer, okay, and South America has moved. Now, NASA administration says all public maps are works of fiction. We've actually no idea or concept of the shape of the Earth. That's what I was getting to, actually. Cool, NASA administration. Yeah. Really, I mean, we do know that there's no curvature. There's no doubt about that. Okay. There's no doubt about that. One look at the photograph of Florida, which I've got on my Lightning Post page on Facebook, and you see there's simply no curvature. At least no curvature as far as we can determine within the Earth that we can see. Okay, put it that way. But yeah. So we do know it's flat, but beyond that, NASA administration says Google Earth is all CGI. The shape of the Earth is something that changes periodically according to human conceptualization. It lends itself to us. We create it from moment to moment. That's exactly what I was about to get to. Thanks. Quantum physics upholds that because we know that atoms behave differently when they know they are being watched. Yes. The observer. Yes. Heisenberg uncertainty principle and all that sort of stuff. Yes. The split screen experiment. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I was getting to. Okay. He was jumping ahead of me. Well, this is cool, actually. Someone is actually jumping ahead because I wanted to kind of like backtrack a little bit and then move into my main topic here. Yes. Creation from moment to moment. This world is an illusion. It is beyond any doubt an illusion. I've seen so much in my life that just proves it. It is a product of consciousness. Okay. It is a product of consciousness. Now, there was that entity called Seth that had supposedly been channeled by Jane Roberts, and I don't know if, hang on a second. NASA administration says, and what of the dead? The illusion doesn't change, only the perspective. That may be true. It may very well may be true, or it could be other so-called dimensions or whatever. Yeah. I've seen people say where they say that the Earth, this whole physical reality that we live in, is merely a shadow of a three-dimensional object. Whatever. But anyway. One thing that actually Seth did say some really interesting things, or Jane Roberts or whatever, about units of consciousness. NASA administration again says the dead are dreaming. When we dream ourselves, we are closest to physical death. In many cases, the body appears dead during REM sleep. Yes. Yeah, actually, I would agree with that. There is a dream level plane, a dream plane. I was on it once and conscious once, pretty much fully conscious, not totally fully conscious, but pretty much fully conscious. I'd actually communicated with a girl who lived in Florida, and I was in Houston. And I didn't even know who this girl was, but I was given the information after I had met up with her in her dream. I was given the information afterwards that she lived in Florida and the town that she lived in and what her name was. So I went on the internet and I searched and I looked up her name and then looked up the town, and yeah, there she is. I guess I was just allowed to do that because at that time I was actually on my spirit quest, okay, or spirit walk, however you want to put it. And yeah, that's been a long time ago, a really long time ago. Oh, you know what? I gotta play promo. Oh, and remember about this promo. The address is not a .com for the New Zealand thing. Okay, it's .co. Okay, so let me pull up. Gotta pull up my phone here. Okay, be right back after this.
You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live, and this is the Flat Earth Man, and all you're watching is a puppet show. All y'all watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. The whole world's a stage, man. You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live.
Flat Earth New Zealand Trust Group is proud to present the Flat Earth New Zealand Expo 2019, April 27th through the 28th. Awakening to reality and purpose is the solemn duty and joy of each significant soul. Join us at our Flat Earth New Zealand Expo to see mysteries unraveled and learn a truthful perspective about our world that you may have never considered before. Unearthed in a creative and condensed way, Flat Earth Expo at Aotearoa, New Zealand. Hosted in Auckland. Jam-packed 2-day, 3-part event to showcase the flat Earth and other related topics, such as the Antarctic Circle and lands beyond, NASA, scientism, religion exposed, the Matrix control, vaccinations and chemtrails, political globalism and the New World Order, fake news and false education, astronomy untouched, weather modification, historical hoaxes, financial systems, what are UFOs and aliens, biblical cosmology, and much more. Broaden your horizon. On Saturday, join an open educational public seminar with 4 international lecturers. You will enjoy a quality crash course in flat earth knowledge, each presenting undeniable evidence covering several categories of research as well as touching on other connected fields of study. This quick Q&A session includes an attendant pack and afternoon tea. It truly is a marvel to behold while awakening the common senses. The 2019 Flat Earth New Zealand Expo promises to be a feast of flat earth exhibits, products, souvenirs and artwork displayed throughout both days. So don't miss it. Our contact information. You can call us at 021-0289-3402 or email us at admin@fenzexpo.co.nz or write to us at PO Box 51010, Pakuranga, Auckland, New Zealand 2010. Flat Earth is common sense and is found in the history of every race. For ticket information or to ask questions, log on to fenzexpo.com.
Hey, John, you don't look so good. What's the matter?
Oh, I always feel tired and run down. No energy. I think it's my poor diet or something.
Well, John, I used to feel the same way. Couldn't sleep at night, couldn't stay awake in the day, John. That's when my doc told me that I had leaky gut syndrome.
Oh, wow. What'd you do? Surgery?
No way. I tried Tarsal. Tarsal is made with the finest, purest cream of tartar and MSM sulfur. And that's all. The fact that it contains all natural ingredients makes it especially desirable in today's toxic world. Tarsal is a white powder that you take every day with water or juice. Taken regularly, Tarsal can clear your leaky gut right up.
Tarsal, huh? So what else does Tarsal do?
Tarsal can help with acne, psoriasis, constipation, gallstones, heartburn, hemorrhoids, hypertension, IBS, and UTI.
Wow, that's quite a formula.
Yes, it is. And Tarsal also helps you to relax, repels insects, and can help you stop smoking.
So how do I find Tarsal?
That's easy. Just go to tarsal.com or call 619-363-1264. Try a bottle today and begin feeling normal again.
TARSUL.com. Try Tarsal today.
Okay, back. So anyway, NASA administration also says, several things here. When I took a spirit walk, I met a skinwalker. That's cool. Skinwalker is essentially a shape changer. And just to briefly define that. He also says Flat Earth Radio Live is the best internet radio station I've ever heard. It's a fan. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, we're going through some growth pains right now. We're also in Germany, by the way, on some radio station. I don't know. I've never been told the radio station. Let's see. He says LVR Live station chief executive Russ DeBird and station manager Rick Lotek will be appearing on a 30-minute Skype link up during the FE New Zealand Expo. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. I'm a bit out of contact sometimes. I got a really bad life, but whatever. It's on the FENZ Expo website. Thank you for that, NASA administration. Yeah. Yeah, the station, it's the thing about it is that, you know, it costs some money to run it, and it's not really a commercial venture. Oops. I gotta turn that thing off. It's not a commercial venture. You know, the little commercial type thing that you heard with the promo for the Tarsal. Yeah, that was just, it's kind of a thank you for helping out with the station, you know. So yeah, we have our problems, you know. It's just like any startup, basically. And it's like this computer that I got is old. Okay. I'm running the show, on my computer through my phone. Okay. I'm actually broadcasting through my phone. And this computer, it gives me a lot of trouble sometimes. Sometimes it goes excruciatingly slow. Sometimes it just doesn't want to work at all. And it's the only way I have of getting the show out. Okay. Really. I mean, well, we do have a kind of a workaround. When the computer wasn't working at all, what I did was I got on my phone and, well, I pre-recorded a show, and I sent it to Rick to play, and he played it for me, and that I'm really thankful for. But yeah, it's it is what it is, you know. And then recently he apparently had some troubles, computer troubles, and it's like, it's just when you don't have much money to work with, you know. But we do have a donations page, and if you just go up to lvrlive.com, you'll see some. Yeah, well, you'll be able to see it. There's a pull down menu at the top. I have to have to pull it up again to see what it, because I forgot. Oh wait, no, it's not there. It's where is it? Crap. I don't know where my I don't know where my lvrlive.com thing is at. Oh well. That's weird. My page, I had it. I had to shove it out of the way. Yeah, I got so many things opened up. So anyway, yeah, we're doing our best. Okay, we are definitely doing our best. It just, we have problems, but we'll work them out. One of the problems is the schedule. Every time the time changes, it shoves our schedule, all the shows over, either back or forward 1 hour. So the schedule is not right now. I'm sure it'll be fixed one day. So yeah. Anyway, let's see. I wanted to also talk about the Wheeling court case that I talked about last week. I said, well, I didn't have time to actually go through it. Well, I did have time to go through it today. Not much time, but I did. And I couldn't really find where they were saying that that citizens are slaves. I already knew citizens are slaves, but I couldn't find it in the case. Anywhere that even really implied it so much. I did find a few interesting things, sort of semi-interesting things. Something about the statutes do not discriminate. This is a 1933 case, by the way. Do not discriminate unlawfully against business corporations in favor of natural persons. A natural person is not what you think it is. Okay, you're not a natural person. Okay, whenever they use the word person, it's always a fiction. They also mentioned the federal Constitution. I highlighted that federal Constitution. So yeah, that's if you want to really delineate between the Constitution for the Union, for the United States of America, that's a union, and the other Constitution, then just say that the other one is the federal Constitution, the one with the 14th, I should say the newer 13th Amendment and then the 14th Amendment and on up. That is the federal Constitution. But neither Constitution is your contract. Okay? Neither one. And yet there are two of them. And if you want proof of that, you can go digging for yourself. Okay? Really, just go digging. Seriously. You got DuckDuckGo and then you got Google. I like using DuckDuckGo better, but sometimes it's more convenient for me to use Google. So anyway, yeah. And also, if you want information, there's my email address. It's thunder.bear.courage@gmail.com. Okay. I can send you my sword and shield method and some other stuff, some other documents. I got loads and loads of documents. I just got so much, so many folders and files. It's absurd. And but also if you just go to my Lightning Post page, you'll be able to find it. You just have to scroll down a bit. I got quite a bit of stuff on that page now. I was trying to trim some of it out today. I did actually manage to trim some, but some older news stories. But yeah, there is quite a lot up here. But you will see a link to my document. Okay. Also, if you see my Facebook thinks, there's the newer Facebook think, there's a link to the document. NASA lies about everything. Thank you so much for everything you sent me so far. Great information. Thank you. Yeah. Or I should say, you're welcome. Yeah. It is. I've got lots of stuff. I didn't want to overload you, sending too much. Also, I'm trying to watch my data consumption, so I can still push out my shows and stuff. So usually what I like to do is if you email me, I like to go to the library and just use their Wi-Fi to send stuff. I've got this the Your Name Under the Law document that someone else wrote, by the way, that is chock full of stuff. I mean, just chock full of stuff. Is really fascinating. And you can look that up, or you can just, like I say, email me and I'll send it to you. It's, I think it's like a 2 megabyte document or something like that. It's kind of big for a document. But yeah, I mean, it just has so much information in there. Of course, my sword and shield method takes precedent because it shows you how, you can be free and stuff. That's something else I wanted to talk about. I kind of forgotten about this, I guess, because I've got so much information rattling around in my mind. Trying to say here, baptisms. You can now. You have to be really careful about this before you decide to do this. You have to think about all the ramifications. Okay, but you can be baptized, have it well documented and everything, and actually send and change your name. This is what you basically you have to do. Okay. Because what you're doing when you're baptized is you are actually dying and being reborn symbolically. Okay. If you remember back in the Bible, that's what they did. Remember John the Baptist? He had another name. I forgot offhand what his name was. I think it was John the Baptist, or maybe Paul. No, wait, it's Paul. Paul I was trying to think of. Paul, he was baptized. He was Saul, and then he was baptized, and he became Paul. So he went through a ritual death, if I remember right. Sorry, it's been a long time since I studied that, or seems like a long time. So yeah, what it is a ritual death. And you can actually say, hey, this is my death and rebirth. This is, or this is me being born again. And they will uphold that. Okay. That's starting all over again. But be very careful, because you might not want to do that. All right. I thought about it plenty of times. I really have. I thought, well, if I do that, I'd want to like maybe have sort of a contract or something along with the baptism and put a CYA rider on it, cover your ass rider, basically saying, hey, I'll accept Jesus as my savior as long as it doesn't come back to bite me in the ass, as long as it doesn't cause me any harm. And if it ever does cause me any harm, then it becomes null and void from the beginning. So yeah, I thought about that. I don't think with my situation, because my situation is really unusual, because I kind of jumped the gun when I proved that the birth certificate was null and void from the beginning because it wasn't filed the correct number of days. I jumped the gun, basically. There are some things that I should have done before, and I didn't, and now I have to go back and fix some things as a result. So that's something I got to work on this week. Yeah, so just be careful. Get my sword and shield method first and foremost. It will walk you through a lot of things. The only thing in there that I messed up on was a little piece of advice concerning the police. I'd forgotten one thing. They are mindless thugs with guns, and they don't know law. Okay. They may know some legal codes and the legal stuff a little bit, sure, but they don't know law. They don't know maxims of law. So claims don't really work with most police. They work wonderfully well with courts and lawyers and, and/or attorneys. Lawyers and/or attorneys, as I said, and/or, because it's not necessarily the same thing. Attorneys are those that engage in a torment, and most attorneys only have business degrees. Okay. Just to let you know. God, I'm not sure if I should go back into all this court stuff or not. I just don't know. I mean, I probably have new listeners, so maybe I should go back and do. Hang on a second. Nessa lies about everything. Says always agree with everything they say. Just ask if that's in order. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Except there's problems. When I say they're mindless thugs with guns, I mean it, and they are predators as well. If they say get your hands up and you get your hands up, they're liable to shoot you. If you don't get your hands up, they're liable to shoot you. All right. There have been, I've done, I don't know how many news stories about people that have capitulated to the cops and they've been murdered by the cops because they capitulated. Because the cops are really, they get kind of high off of authority, you know. There was that experiment. I'm thinking Harvard did it. It could have been Yale or another college. I can't really remember. Princeton or whatever. It was one of these colleges. They did an experiment where they had some students and they divided the students up to into prisoners and guards. And they had to stop the experiment because the guards, even though we're just pretending to be guards, it got out of hand. They started treating their fellow students like animals. That's just the way it is here. You know, now in other countries, other lands, I should say, because the United States is not a country, by the way. Okay. It's really kind of supposed to be a union of nations, sort of. Oh, hang on a second. Rick says, please read. Stay tuned immediately after my show for a special encore presentation of the Shadow FX show. Rick and Mark host Flat Earth guru Mark Sargent, a 3-hour rewind, and thanks. Oh, cool. Yeah, you're welcome. Stay tuned for the Shadow FX show. NASA Lies About Everything says, I was saying if it is a traffic stop right off the bat, obviously if someone has a gun on me, I'm doing everything they say without question. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just hard to, I mean, if you own the car outright, you can put on there, and by owning it outright, I mean you have a loyal title to it. I'm not talking about the damn pink slip, okay? You have that MSO or MCO or some other claim, and you nullified the state's MSO or MCO. That's kind of complicated. I'm sorry. I'm running low on time here, so I'm kind of rushing through this. Anyway, if you have true title to it, you can paint on the car that this car is owned by you outright. You have proper claim over it, and that might help a little bit. Of course, no license plates, no flags on it. That's what a license plate kind of is a flag. That's the reason why it's on the front and the back, by the way. Usually it's because it's admiralty laws. The roads are considered waterways. That's the reason why they have islands in the middle of the roads sometimes. That's what they call it, islands, because they're considered waterways. It's all maritime law. And I wish I had time to go into that, but I don't. I'm going to kind of wrap this up so I can get off the air for Rick. So let's see. Is anything I need to say really, really super urgent? I'm trying to think here. I don't have anything more in my notebook. Hang on. Question: what if you inform the officer as soon as you roll down your window that you have a dash cam and is rolling right now, and that is your right to record the whole thing? Express that quickly. Yeah, just simply say, yeah, I'm recording. Okay. But you don't have to roll the window down all the way. You can just crack it a little bit. That's been proven time and time again in court. But the thing is, if you actually own that car outright, you're not, doing it by license or anything, meaning that you're not in commerce under that legal person. If you own the legal person, like I do, and that's the reason, by the way, that's one of the reasons why when the cops pulled me over, all I have to say is just look up this legal person that I own, and it says do not arrest, do not detain, federal level. So yeah, without that, I would probably be in jail, or dead, probably dead. They would probably kill me. I actually had a deputy threaten my life one time. Yeah, it's the thing is you're going to have to kind of play it by ear. The problem is sometimes the cops are nice and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're immediately hostile. If you're black, they're probably going to be immediately hostile and you probably will die. Or there's a good chance that you will die anyway. Yeah, how dare you drive a car while black, or pilot a car or land vessel while black, that kind of thing. It's that racism, racial profiling and all kinds of stuff. That's a whole nother thing. Maybe one day I'll do a show, at least a part of a show on the whole racism thing and how things happen, like segregation in neighborhoods and stuff like that, and how the government actually set about to segregate the neighborhoods, that the way they were drawing zones and stuff like that. Keeping everyone in poverty in essence. But anyway, I got to wrap this up really quickly. So if you're pulling out of a parking lot at night, please remember to turn on your headlights and your tail lights if you have a defective car or truck. And, because I don't want you getting pulled over. Okay. That's just the thing. I don't want you getting pulled over. So please remember to turn on your headlights. Catch a clue. If you see other cars with their headlights on, check, please, to make sure that you have your headlights on as well. Okay. And your tail lights. And don't give them an excuse to pull you over in the first place. And I know that's hard. I know that because, there's some cops that come out and say, well, if you're driving too carefully, we're going to pull you over. It's like, come on, seriously. That's just, they have the RAID method of questioning. They assume that you're lying. No matter what you say, they're going to assume that you're lying, and they're going to assume that you're guilty, and they are providing a service to you. Remember that's what they consider as a service. But I'm going to go ahead and log out now, and I want everyone to have a nice night. Bye.